Check that out. That's the new face of my van, and I'm even greeted with a rainbow as I pick it up right out of the shop. I gotta learn how to use it. I also gotta install my license plate. I guess it had to be taken off for the job, but they're required en masse. Hope I don't get pulled over. Tonight, I want to hit a Home Depot. There's some other stuff I want to do. I'll give you a closer look at this bumper, though. This is the Super Winch Bull Bar by Illuminous. Came with a lot of assembly. Also, apparently came with a lot of disassembly. Wasn't expecting that. My amber lights on my old bumper, which I installed myself, and I was proud of, they had to come off. The whole plastic Ford bumper had to come off and be disposed of. I thought the shop would have time to migrate them, put them in a compatible position. There are little recesses here you can put lights in. I guess I'll have to do that myself. My license plate had to come off. Yeah, I don't know. They did machine me a little adapter at the shop. I want to get this on pronto because in Massachusetts, you're required to have a license plate on both the front and the back. So I'm going to try to do that tonight. These are there's a wired and a wireless remote control for operating my winch. This thing is really cool. This is it down here. I'll show you how it works. The winch operating controls are behind a little lock and key here. I'm not sure why they lock it because, yeah, I don't know. There is a little thing you pull out right here, turn it clockwise, and this is the remote. I initially had wanted to wire up my winch to my new switch panel, but they said at the shop that this thing goes up to 450 amps at 12 volts. And even with a relay, I realized that putting this winch on the switch panel wasn't practical because you need both an in and an out button. And this remote is just so much easier. To turn the thing on, you hold both buttons down for a minute until the light comes on. And then to bring it out, you just hold the out button. And you can pull it out like that. He showed me the proper way to winch it. I want to get a tree adapter, little strap, before I even use this thing so I can put it around a tree and, you know, not damage the tree. And also, he told me never to hook this onto itself. You want it in a closed system, the way he put it. Now I better be able to bring it back in. All right, why is it not going back in? Let's try this again. All right, yeah, I still got to figure this thing out. So I figured it out. This thing right here has to be put in the 12 o'clock position. And then you operate the in on the control. And look at that. Another thing that the shop pointed out to me is that the Illuminous Bull Bar doesn't sit flush with a 2021 Ford Transit, the chassis. I don't know why. There's a little gap here that runs from the wheel well all the way to more or less the front. I'm gonna go into the Home Depot here and try to find like a rubber thing that I can cut a liner just to cover that up, just for cosmetic purposes. I don't like the way that looks. There's some light left. Let's see what I can find. The $10,000 question is, what aisle at Home Depot would have long strips of rubber? I have no idea. Molding, maybe? Well, here's an idea. The mats I usually use for the floor have this rubber strip at the end. I could kind of cut that, but that seems extraordinarily wasteful. Oh, and one of these, the coveted 3-pack of shop towels. When I was building out my van, I got this mass-loaded vinyl stuff that would be perfect for this job. I threw away all of my extra building supplies after I finished the van. I wish I didn't do that. Now, what about this stuff? Door seal? Not exactly the right shape. Why does it have to be brown? No, that's not gonna cut it. This is what I went with, this rubber foam stuff. I got it because it's dirt cheap. This was only $8 for a bag. I really only need like 2 feet of it on either side. I'll give this a shot. I figure I can just cut it into a shape. It's self-adhesive. I might reinforce it with some, you know, zip ties or something. I don't know. I think this should do just fine. So here's that weather stripping stuff, just closing those panel gaps so you don't see all the innards of the vehicle. It doesn't look great. I think it's a marginal improvement. I think if the stuff were actually black, like it's advertised on the box or the package or whatever, it would look a whole lot better. Maybe I'll paint it or something. I don't know. It's a cheap solution for now. If I don't like it, I can just tear it out and find something better later. Right now, I want to get my license plate back on. After some studying, I figured out how this license plate adapter is supposed to work. I just torque out these little bolts right here, these little Allen keys, which by some fluke of miracle is the same width of Allen key that I used for my spare tire. Take those out. This goes underneath, I think, like that, and then my license plate should sit right on top of that. So let's get that going. Oh yeah, they must have torqued these with like a machine, obviously. I cannot get that out by hand. So it dawned on me, why not just go in and buy the tool that I need to remove this bolt? That's why I work at Home Depot's. Turns out it's a 5/16 socket that I can just attach to my wrench. Let's give this another go. That turns right. Oh my god! Damn, how hard did they torque this thing? Oh, it's moving. It's moving. Oh my god. There we go. Holy crap. Alright, one last ditch attempt to get this other one. I'm gonna stand on the freaking thing. Oh, that worked. Holy crap. I don't believe it. I actually got the license plate adapter on. Now it's just a matter of screwing in my license plate to these two bolts right there. Not gonna show that, but look how dark it has gotten. I got everything done I wanted to except these amber lights just sitting down here loosey-goosey on my floor. Yeah, that bothers me, but even though I'm in a gung-ho mode right now, this Home Depot just closed and an employee just came out and asked me if there's anything he could help me with. I'll take that as my cue to leave. I'm gonna go stealth camp in the woods tonight. It's the second night of 2025. I won't be running my heater. It's actually hot right now. It's 77 degrees at night. That's crazy. I swear it was winter weather just 1 week ago. I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot of options in the woods of Western Mass open right now. Let's go see what I can find. Right out my window here on the left is the Connecticut River Greenway, a bike path that I've always wanted to do. I've walked stretches of it. I recently got an e-bike. I've been riding it for like the past 2 weeks, testing it, getting the feel of it. I want to take it out this weekend, assuming it doesn't rain. It's the newest toy in my arsenal. Got big, thick off-road tires by a company called Hovsco. I'm liking it a lot so far. I was actually going to do that today, but this job took so long at the shop. They had it all day yesterday, all day today. I actually got into the shop at 9:30 a.m. this morning, and they didn't finish it until 5:30 p.m. I just sat there like a moron. I told them, like, you have my ride and my house right now. There's nowhere else I can go. He was sympathetic. I don't think he likes people hanging out at the shop, you know, just sitting there the whole time. It's not like I was watching them work over their shoulder, you know. I was working on my laptop. But still, it's very awkward when they have your vehicle. I know a lot of people drop off their vehicles at a shop for like a day, 2 days, 3 days, and it's no big deal to them. When you live in your vehicle, it's a huge deal. A huge deal. Like, every evening, every hour matters. This is the first time I really felt like homeless in a while. You know, you have my house. I can't go anywhere. I'm so dependent on this. If I could find a mechanic who can commit to a job and do it all in the same day, I would pay them like a pretty penny, like 150% their normal billing costs. But these guys do great work. I mean, I'll give them that. They're called Built for the East in Granby. They're really the only mechanic I trust out of every mechanic I've been to. Like, their work is always thorough and solid and tidy and to spec. And they're really nice. I just wish they could do the work in one day and not have to hold it overnight. You know what I mean? I'm sleeping down one of these old sketchy roads that was closed all winter. But man, I really wish I had my amber lights. I just went through all the trouble of rigging it up in this panel just like a week ago. And now they've been disassembled. It bothers me enough that I might actually go out there on the dirt tonight and try to rig them all back up. Having amber lights has been a game changer for my night driving. I don't know if it's the color in particular that does anything, but these just light up the tops of the trees, like the whole open forest, something that the Ford factory lights just don't do. I think that's really important if you're riding around in a tall vehicle, because there's branches and crap that overhangs, you know, over the road, and you need to see more than 20 yards in front of you. So the way I had these rigged up was I basically attached them to this pop-out panel on the Ford bumper. It just attaches to a single bolt right here. I am just going to preserve it's by a company called Beam, I think. I'm just going to strip it down to its bare essentials, throw away the last of this plastic Ford thing, and see how I can rig it up down there. I'm not averse to just strapping the whole thing up there with zip ties, you know? Not everything has to be bolted. So there are two recesses here in this luminous bull bar. My thing doesn't like quite fit in. It has to like come through on the other side somehow. Kind of a tight space in here, but wiring it up is easy. It's simply plug and play. I gave myself plenty of service loop under anticipation of having to migrate this someday, but this is looking at the back. Now, I noticed there is a bolt hole in the bull bar itself. I could potentially sink it down like that. I don't know how well this is coming across in this awful video, but if I bolt it like that, I wonder how that faces on the other side. Let's take a look. Can you see it? Yeah, that's not a very good fit at all. The problem is these Beam amber lights I got are just not the ones that Luminous wanted you to buy. I guess they have a particular brand that fits seamlessly in this space here. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do. Just like I was afraid of, this Luminous bull bar, they make it like custom for some specific brand of light. I hate it when the companies do that. But I'm not throwing this away. This Beam amber light has worked wonders. What I'm trying to do is a different approach. I'm taking this pedestal that came with it straight off, and I'm going to take advantage of the hole that goes through there, see if I can run some zip ties to it or bolt it in some other way. I just want to get it in that space. I just spent the better part of an hour literally trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Or the other way around. Yeah, these amber lights that I have from Beam just don't fit this luminous bull bar. I find this is a thing with like aftermarket stuff in the van build. A lot of the companies like brand or like make deals or contract with other companies so their stuff fits with other companies' stuff and it's not standardized. It's a real headache. I think what I'm gonna do, because I've gotten addicted to the amber lights, is just buy the stock stuff from Luminous that they want you to buy that fits into that space. You can bolt it in, no zip ties. I actually considered zip tying my amber lights by Beam to the radiator for a while, and it more or less fit. It just looks so crappy. So I nixed that idea. I'm also coming to realize that with the winch, there's a bunch of other gear I need to buy for it. Most notably a tree strap that you put around a tree. With the winch, he was teaching me how to use it. You don't want to like just wrap the hook around the tree and hook it back onto the rope. That's apparently extremely dangerous. The hook can come loose and go flying at like the speed of sound and kill you. What you want to do is get a tree strap and a little bolt locking thing. I'm sure I'm not using the right jargon. Someone in the comments will explain it to me. I will learn it all. I'm new to the whole winch thing. The reason I got the winch was because this past winter, I got stuck on an icy road going down a hill, and I had no way to get out. No sand, no nothing. But if I had a winch, I could have strapped to a tree and pulled myself up over this icy hill. And ever since then, I got online like right that afternoon at breakfast and started researching winches and realized how freaking expensive they are. Especially if you want one that pulls something the weight of a van. I think, like I said, this pulls 12,000 pounds. And you can also get them with a bull bar. A bull bar just replaces your bumper with this big aluminum thing. You know, my biggest fear on the road is other drivers. I've had people like almost back into me coming out of parking lots because they just go in reverse without looking or something. If that happens, I want their car to get messed up, not mine. The bull bar will absorb that blow. And last but not least, it just looks badass. I'm not sure I got good photos of it, video of it tonight because I picked the thing up so late, just an hour before sunset. Tomorrow I will get great footage of it. And like I said, tomorrow I'm not sure what the weather is going to be like. I want to take my new e-bike out for an adventurous ride. I'm going to be going somewhere very cool. Not that greenway by the Connecticut River that we drove by tonight. I'll do that at another time, but something a lot more rugged. This e-bike by a company called Hovsco touts itself as being off-road. We'll see how off-road it is because I'm going to put it through the ringer tomorrow. And I think tonight, after I finish this video, I'm going to go online and just purchase the new amber beams that go with this bull bar. Yeah, I'm in a recovery mode. The whole last week or two has all been about recovery for me and my van, learning how to use the gear, like all the gear I have, you know, with a winch. It's like changing a tire. You don't want to learn how to do it when you need to, you know. You want to learn how to do it in advance, so when you come to that emergency situation, you're not all stressed out about it. So I'm going to learn how to use the winch and all this other gear that I have. I think I'm done blabbing. I'm not sure I accomplished much today. I just sat around and watched a shop do all the work and then tried to clean up the mess. But my van looks a whole lot cooler. It's got a new face. Alright, thanks everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully I will be doing something much cooler. That bike ride probably. Until then, peace out.